Okay, we're back with more Elder Scrolls Dark Realms. We continue on to session 8. Now, Wolf is going to take a long rest, obviously, in the tavern to see if they have any rooms available. So let's mention that to Jory as we close out this. We close out the last session like so. All right, let's begin session 8. Wolf will tell Jory that he will need to take a rest this evening after what transpired today, and he will inquire to the barkeep if they have any rooms available in the tavern. Right.
All the files uploaded by the user have been fully loaded. Searching won't provide additional information. The barkeep eyes Wholf's soaked cloak, then nods and gestures upstairs. Room's open. Still warm from the fire. 2 silver if you want it till dawn. Jory waves off the offer with a grunt. I'll keep my boots near the hearth. You earned the bed tonight. A few regulars glance your way but say nothing. The room upstairs waits, quiet and still. What does Wholf do next? Pay and rest or something else?
Okay, so Hulk will go upstairs. We'll transition to the next morning, unless there's a vision. And also, I need to fix my. Whoops! I need to fix the wolf's positioning there. It's a little out. There we go. Okay, let's see. Let's say Wolf does accept. He pays the 2 silver and he goes upstairs to the room granted by the barkeep with the key. But while sleeping, Wolf has a very strange vision. What does he see while he's sleeping, obviously? All right. That's quite a description.
Wholf pays the silver, accepts the iron key, and climbs the narrow stairs to the creaking room above. The bed is rough but warm, the air tinged with old wood, smoke, and lavender. He drifts to sleep. The dream. Wholf stands in a frozen field of memory. The stars above are wrong, spiraling like mirrored eyes. Below his feet, the ground pulses with buried whispers. Before him, the sanctum, broken and inverted, floating upside down in the sky. Edran's ghostly figure chained to its base, weeping without sound. Then from behind a silhouette forms, not the wraith, but a version of Wholf himself. But wrong. Eyes hollow, bow held loosely, covered in shadows that drip like ink.
Oh,
It whispers, if purpose is gone, why do you still walk? Let go, let me become. The dream fades. Wholf jolts awake, sweat on his neck, the dawn creeping through the shutters. What does he do?
okay, I have to give credit. This is GPT's been getting better at these very creative moments. So it's I'm really intrigued to see what GPT-5 will be if it becomes the norm released later this year. But anyways, yeah, let's just say Wolf grabs some water. Let's see. Wolf is going to grab some water from his nightstand, if any. Do I should I roll anything here to try to decipher the dream, what he saw? Let's see, if any. Got my dice ready, so let's see what skill we need to use for this. Instinct, lore, empathy roll, which we did improve on, I think. Let's see.
Good instinct. This is a great moment for a lore or empathy roll to interpret the dream. Lore. Understand the magical, symbolic, or memory-based nature of the dream. Empathy. Understand the emotional meaning, what the dream reveals about Wholf himself. Difficulty. Grade 4. The dream is steeped in both memory and supernatural influence. Pick your skill, roll, and let me know the total.
I'm thinking, well, both my empathy and lore, as you guys can see, are equal at average. I'm trying to figure out if we can invoke a aspect here. I don't believe Ascents would have any real aid. Arcane sensitivity, probably not. I think arcane sensitivity is more valid during actual adventuring or contesting. Danger and Sense wouldn't really have an aid here. Lessons taught by Edwin burned into bone probably would have some relevance. Trouble, I don't know why I'm leaning towards Trouble, has no home drifter, but it's more vague than anything. Let's try lessons taught by Edwin, other aspects. So I'll go back to GPT here, and we will use empathy perhaps, but can we invoke our aspect lessons taught by Edwin burned into bone? Yes, while listening to Ed Sheeran. That's great. I love that's how it's the first thing it picks up. Yes, I'm going to have Slayer playing in the background, which is probably suitable for Skyrim. All right, so let's ask for permission here. We invoke lessons burned, so it's perfect here. Personally, you gain +2 an empathy roll, costs 1 fate point. So we're rolling empathy +1 and then 2. That's 3 total on this next roll. So let's roll. +3. Okay, that's a 2. Oh, what was the difficulty? 4. Shoot. Okay. Total of 2. Yeah, the dream probably fades away into obscurity. With a 2 versus 4, you fall short of failure, but still meaningful. Wolf can't fully decode the dream, but he feels as much. The shadowy version of himself wasn't just fear, it was possibility, reflection of what might form if he continues with that purpose, without anchor. And the sanctum in the sky, not a place, but a symbol of the past dragging him upward, away from the earth, away from now. Something deeper is stirring, perhaps connected to the hollow grove, and perhaps the wolf himself. A knock sounds at the door, Jory's voice on the other side. Hope you're not dead up there. Sun's up, ready to find that witch. What does a wolf do? Okay, so what does wolf do? Well, we'll ready ourselves and leave the room. Okay, wolf will ready himself, pack up his belongings, and leave the room, greeting Jory on his way out. Wolf will ready himself. Okay, leaving the room, greeting jewelry. As he has bling, Skyrim bling on. All right. Wolf gathers his gear, slings his pack, and descends the creaking steps. Jory leans near the bar, already sipping tea instead of ale this morning, a rare seriousness in his face. The apothecary's this way, he says, standing. She won't like being woken up, but I doubt she'll sleep much anyway. The two of you step into the misty morning, the streets of Ravenshade quiet, the village unaware of how close it came to fading. The apothecary, crooked sign, sways ahead, barely visible through overgrown thorns. Shall we approach or do anything? Um, let's see. Any scene or environmental aspects to mention? All right, let's see. I'll let the voice read this one this time. Let's see.
Yes, the closer you get to the apothecary, the more the atmosphere shifts. Situation aspects. Overgrown pathway. Vines, roots, and faded stepping stones make the approach slow and narrow. Lingering fog. Thick morning mist clings unnaturally to the ground here, dampening sound and vision. Ward-stained walls. The building itself bears faded Aelid-style glyphs etched into the stone, likely protective in nature, but old and cracked. A single lantern flickers above the door, even in daylight, casting a weak orange glow. Jory pauses at the edge of the vines. She hasn't changed it. Not in years. I'll follow your lead, Wholf. Do you want to proceed, inspect, or try anything else first?
Let's see. I think I'm going to. I don't know why, but I'm very cautious and suspicious at the same time. Can I use notice here to spot anything unusual on the way to the door? I'm guessing a +2 if it's difficulty. Scanning for hidden wards, movement traps, manageable disturbances. +2. Yep, called it. All right, so our notice is decent at 2. So we're doing +4 here. Oh, danger sense. I'm going to invoke that. Well, no, I got to pay for that. Never mind. I'm not going to invoke that. Keen sense is a sight. So this has been a slight change. I use. Oh, our friend Wolf here is in the way. Let me move him over. I might just put him right here. There we go. Thanks, Wolf. Yes, so keen senses of sight, +2 notice when focused. I'm going to automatically invoke that or use that and move Wolf down a bit more because it kind of bothers me when he's just over the edge there. So that's +2 here. That's +2 for notice. So we're rolling with a +4. That's, oh, shoot. Okay. Yeah, not great on the digital rolls today. That's 1 total. Total of 1. Oh, probably should have asked Jory for assistance. Ah, darn, I can ask Jory for assistance. That could create an advantage. Ah, shoot. Okay, so let's see what happens.
With a total of trial 1 versus failure, but you pick up one vague detail. The glyphs on the wall pulse faintly, only when you step closer. Not enough to activate, but enough to suggest they're still watching. You can't tell what they do. Protective? Warning? Trap? They're too degraded to be clear. Jory stands back, watching you with a raised brow. You want to knock, or should I? What does Wholf do?
Even though Jory is an NPC, can I ask for his assist here when noticing those glints? So, or those glyphs. Probably should have thought about that before, but at least, hey, at least I thought about it. So let's see what happens here. Let's see.
Yes, absolutely. NPCs can assist with rolls as long as they meet the skill requirements. If Jory has at least +1 in lore or notice, he can lend his action to grant you +1 to your roll. Fate Condensed teamwork rule. We'll assume Jory has +1 lore, so he assists. This boosts your total to 2, meeting the
Okay, there we
difficulty.
go.
Updated outcome, success.
I'll take it.
Wholf, with Jory's subtle nod and whispered, old warding, tied to intent, now recognizes the glyphs are reactionary. They flare only if someone approaches with malice or deceit.
Ah,
Step forward calm and you're welcome. Step forward hostile and something might awaken. You now know how to approach safely. Proceed or change your method.
Wolf mentions that obviously their intent is peaceful, but cautious. He gestures to Jory to approach cautiously, period. Wolf knocks on the door 3 times. All right. So those spelling corrections there. Usually I don't really care about that, but for some reason I do for that one. All right. Let's see.
Jory nods and follows close behind, his hand resting on the staff but not raised. Wholf knocks, 3 firm raps. The silence that follows is long, then a soft creak. The door opens just enough to reveal a sliver of darkness, and one sharp golden eye peering through. A voice, brittle but commanding, slips out like mist. No one comes here with peace unless they've been touched by something that isn't. The door opens wider, revealing a dim interior filled with hanging herbs, dried bones, and smoke trailing from unseen braziers. Come in, Wholf, you reek of memory. Do you enter, speak first, or pause?
Okay. Well, no one comes in here with peace unless they've been touched by something that isn't. Come in, Wolf, Eureka memory. Well, let's see. I look to Jory casually, then back at the voice coming from inside, and explain that we are here seeking guidance and information on the Hollow Grove. All right. Okay.
The eye narrows slightly. The door swings open fully with a whisper of unseen force. Inside stands a tall, wiry woman, wrapped in layers of frayed shawls and threadbare silks, bones woven into her braid. Her presence is calm, not friendly, not hostile, simply aware. The Hollow Grove is not a place you find. It finds you, if it hasn't already. She turns and glides deeper into the gloom. If you're still sane after the sanctum, there's a chance. Jory steps beside you. She hasn't said this much in years. You've been invited in. What does Wholf do?
We both enter, taking a few steps inside and observing the interior of the house. What are some of the situational aspects that we can see? So Velra is her name. All right, so we have quite a few. I'll just read these off. It's just details. Let's see. We step inside, door closes behind them with a soft bump, not by hand. Okay, choking incense smoke. That's expected. The air is thick with dark herbal fumes. Every breath feels heavy. Eyes in the jars, of course. Shelves lined with walls. Sealed glass jars. Something inside each one watches. Living floor. The wooden planks pulse faintly underfoot, like distant heartbeats. Memories shifting beneath. Shadow-worded corners. Some corners seem unnaturally dark, touched by firelight, untouched by firelight. Wards or something older lurk just out of view. Velra stands at a stone table marked by burnt glyphs and opens a small wooden box inside a token shaped like teeth and rune-marked stones. Ask what you came to ask, Wolf. The grove listens but never answers twice. All right. So Wolf comedically nudges Jory for guidance here, comma, saying that my friend here has some knowledge about this more than I would. Period. So let's push knowledge. Let's push Jory into this, not jewelry, Jory. All right. One second. So Wolf immediately nudges Jory for guidance here, saying that my friend here has some knowledge about this more than I would. Let's see. Clears the slow nerves of study. We found the glyph. I found it. Maybe I should have talked.
Jory clears his throat, nervous but steady. We found a glyph at the sanctum, one I hadn't seen since the war. It led us to believe the Hollow Grove is stirring. Velra runs a long finger over the rune stones. It never sleeps, it just forgets, until something reminds it. She looks up at Wholf. What did you bring back from the sanctum, Hunter? What walked with you that shouldn't have? The room seems to tilt slightly, the jars fogging up as if exhaling. Do you answer, or keep your past guarded?
Wolf has to answer here in order to reveal details needed, comma. He briefly recaps what transpired yesterday, mainly outside the village, period. Excuse me. Let's see. Oh, wow. It's quite the conversation.
Wholf speaks, quietly but clearly, recounting the memory wraith, the remnant tethered to Edron's shard, and the dream of his shadowed self. The destruction of the crystal, the growing stillness, the screams in the woods. Velra listens with unblinking focus. When he finishes, she slowly lifts one of the runestones from her box and places it on the table. It glows faintly. The grove doesn't send agents. It reflects what we forget. The wraith you faced was a shard, yes, but not of Edran. It was of you. Jory stiffens. So it's copying him? Velra shakes her head. It's becoming him, unless he finds an anchor before the grove finds him first.
Uh-oh.
She looks directly at Wholf. You still carry it, don't you? The echo.
Wait,
What does Wholf say?
the journal? Do I still have the journal? I don't have the. I have the compass. So that might be the only real thing. Let's see here. Hold on. I pull out my compass, showing it to her, comma. I ask her, this is the only real item that I have tied to my past. I will leave it at that. Narrow. She doesn't touch it. It spins erratically.
Velra's eyes narrow at the sight of the compass. She doesn't touch it, just watches the needle, which spins erratically for a moment, then points not north but down, toward the warped floor beneath her table. It's not just a compass anymore. It's your tether, your memory. That's why the grove will hunt you through it. She draws a circle around one of the runestones and speaks low. You must either bury your past in a place the grove cannot reach, or walk into it willingly and hope you leave again. She looks up. I can show you the path. Will Wholf accept her offer, or ask another question first?
Let's see. Well, this compass is my only reminder of my former mentor, Edrin, who was practically part of all this. Let's see if that has any effect on the story. We haven't done any story hacks. Well, not any major story hacks yet. I'm waiting for the moment. Ooh, okay. So we have a couple options here.
Velra nods slowly, her voice gentler. Then it will either save you or become your grave. She steps back and gestures toward a recessed alcove lined with moss-covered bones and hanging feathers. Take it into the grove as your anchor. But know this, memory has weight. If you falter, it will wear his face again. Jory mutters behind you. Lovely, really uplifting. Velra smirks, just barely. You have until the next full moon. After that, the grove chooses its own paths. You now have a clear lead. Enter the hollow grove willingly, using the compass as a tether, or attempt to bury your past somewhere warded and safe. Do you commit to the grove, or pause to consider more?
I think I'm going to pause here actually and end the session. So let's say that. Before we make a decision, we will end this session briefly. So this is session something dark side. 8, I believe. Understood? Pausing. Okay. So I'll let it summarize. But yeah, that's all I really have time to do this morning. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was session 8. This was actually very intriguing story-wise. We meet this Belra spirit guiding lady, and it was more conversational, a few cues and situational aspects, but I did indeed enjoy it. No, obviously no fight scenes or just a kind of discovery of things, but hope you guys enjoyed. I sure did, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.